Good day, everyone. I am back, and I'm coming back with something that has occurred to me uh, relatively recently, and I have not heard this from anyone. That doesn't mean it hasn't been said. It just means I haven't heard somebody say what I'm going to say about WVD, Windows Virtual Desktop, and really what it means from a remoting desktop perspective. Uh, More specifically, Citrix, VMware, anyone else that's in the space, uh, Frame, Nutanix, whoever else is out there. Um, so first of all, before WVD, the barrier to entry into the market to with a remoting application um, was huge because you had to have brokers, you had to have secure access, you had to have a protocol. Now, there are companies before WVD that were doing fine, but not at the scale of a Citrix or VMware. VMware was able to come in, one, because they have a lot of money and able to, tie it into their virtualization products, and licensing and all that good stuff. And they've made a good product. Don't get me wrong with that. Um, so the barrier to entry was very high. Windows Virtual Desktop now, to the present day, it's not a Citrix, it is not a VMware, in that they are not, Microsoft is not competing directly against those two companies. I think that's been made perfectly clear. And I do agree with that. Are there people that are going to use straight WVD to manage their desktops in the cloud through Azure, all that good stuff? Absolutely. But that is not what WVD is. It is a platform as a service. It is PaaS. It is meant for others to come in and make nice and be able to compete. So what a biggest example right now with popularity is Nerdio. They have a wonderful interface. They make working with the back end of WVD very simple, very easy. They've got some features that WVD doesn't have. Yes, you can script stuff, but this makes it very simple. And as this goes along, I would expect that you'll see Nerdio embracing other Azure technologies to pull it all into one product, the Nerdio WVD manager, into that, and making it extraordinarily simple for companies to come in and manage those environments. Now, what does this have to do with Citrix and VMware? That's the point here, is that now anybody can come into the market, to come into that space. You've got RDP, which is a different RDP than what we have on, say, our Windows 10 desktops, our servers built in. This is basically a very enhanced RDP that right now is only available if you're doing WVD desktops. They update it. They're constantly updating the RDP protocol because they don't have to rely on the OS getting an update to push out new features. Same with the WVD services in the cloud. While they have the names of broker, gateway, that type of thing, it is not a lift and shift of the traditional RDSH roles. These are services built from the ground up in Azure. So there's, it's in the end, it's going to be hopefully more resilient, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So what does WVD mean for everything? WVD is Microsoft, I should say, is commoditizing remoting apps, remoting desktops. Um, Nerdio, when all is said and done, comes in cheaper than Citrix, and even potentially VMware. I'm not sure on the pricing on VMware, if it's just tied into other product licensing like vSphere, etc. But it's commoditizing that space because now Joe Blow, if I was a developer, I could come in, and if I could come up with a decent interface that tied in the services, I'm in. Granted, there's more to it than that. And the feature parity is not there. It doesn't need to be there because having been in this space for the last 20 plus years, not everybody uses all features that Citrix is bundled with, that Horizon View is bundled with. So that's the point here, is that Microsoft is commoditizing these products that we have used and implemented and managed for 20 plus years. Pretty soon, it's just going to be another Azure service, that you just take for granted. Now, that doesn't mean that Citrix and Horizon View and that stuff is going away anytime soon. But it was interesting. The one thing I noticed with VMworld this year, the virtual VMworld, is that the talk isn't all around View. It's all around the workspace. And I know those remoting apps and desktops are part of that workspace, but it's so much more than that now. When Sean and those guys, Brian Madden, Gabe, Ron, are talking about that stuff, the focus is not on the desktops and apps, the remoting portion of it. It's on all the cool features that you get, like with Workspace ONE, onboarding people, all that good stuff. So there's a shift, and I think it's coming. I think it's coming quickly, and I use that word, not like in 6 months, in a year. It's going to take a few years, but I think if you look at what Citrix is doing as well, there is a fundamental shift there, in not just moving stuff into the cloud. I'm talking about a lot of their, like I forget what the microservice product is called, but I think if you look at what they're doing, there is a shift. Managed desktops, things like that. So that's my point. Microsoft is commoditizing what we have used, and basically I have built my career around. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Am I right? Am I wrong? Let me know. Send me email, shoot me comments, Twitter, whatever the case may be. I want to know what your thoughts are on this subject, because I don't know. It occurred to me a few weeks ago, and it was like, so thank you for listening. Catch you guys later.